Jewell Farshad is a model, an actor, a pageant queen, and an art school graduate, an artist in the truest sense of the word. And she's also an immigrant from Iran. She came to America to pursue the American dream, and she's achieved so many things in the entertainment industry that she had only ever dreamed about when she was a child. She's a longtime friend of mine and probably the most fabulous person I know. And what's so admirable, despite where she came from now, she's living life on her own terms. And I could not be more thrilled to welcome her to the Hamptons to Hollywood podcast for season 6.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm so excited to see you. It's been so long.
I know. So I think you have an incredible story.
Thank you.
And I feel like, and you definitely have spoken about it before, and I really wanted to like sit down with you and just like, I want you to tell your story because I'm so moved by it. And so I think I wanted to kind of like start at the beginning.
Okay, like the day I was born. I'm just kidding. How far
You were
are we
born
going?
you were born in March, just like me.
Yes, the March baby, March 22nd. Same day as Lady Gaga is an April baby.
Okay.
Reese Witherspoon is a March baby.
There you go. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I want to talk to me about where you grew up and like what your early life kind of was like.
So I was born immediately after the Iran and Iraq war in Shiraz, which is a province that's basically, when the Prince of Persia, where people are like, Persia is an ancient country, but like there's a district that's called Pars. That's where Persia is. You guys just call it Persia. It's Pars.
Oh.
Shiraz is a city in that district. And literally outside of where I was born is the ancient Persian Persepolis, like all of that stuff is still remaining.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I was born. And then when I want to say like 4 or 5 years old, we moved to Tehran with my family. But from when I was born till that 4 years old, we had a lot of journey. My parents wanted to move out. They wanted to leave Iran. Everybody wants to leave Iran because of the situation, but it was extremely difficult. My dad got his second PhD in Austria.
Wow.
So he was studying there, and then from there we came to DC on a tourist visa. But like really good people, we didn't overstay our visa. Went back because honest people. My parents wanted to come back here with a green card, and then my dad tried to apply to get a job in New Zealand, and that's when the government stopped him from leaving the country. So.
Wow.
At 4, the reason we moved to Tehran was because my parents sold everything to move to New Zealand, and then they blacklisted us. So my parents were like, literally everything was sold. They were crying, and then they just moved back with family. I was living with cousins and aunts, and my dad was trying to get a job, and like he just couldn't believe after everything he has done, They were in their late 30s, and he was just so hopeful to leave Iran. And then at that point he realized, okay, if they're going to stop me, then I'm going to work and send my kids out of the country. And that's what he dedicated his life to. He just worked at the University of Tehran and saved his money, sent me and my sister out to pursue our dreams.
Yeah. What was his degrees in?
Political science.
Wow.
And he was very much against the regime.
Mm-hmm.
But we just had to be very careful about speaking in Iran because we knew our phones were tapped, everything was tapped, and even the TV that we had a satellite TV that was illegal to have it because that's how I get to like watch MTV and stuff. So we would have it it's so ghetto, like we would have it in the rooftop, and it's like a giant dish, and like literally my sister would be down there with like the receiver. I would move it around. She was like, we're getting a channel, like it's Britney Spears, and then we had to hide it with clothes.
Wow.
Literally we had to like hide it with clothes so nobody sees it. One time I almost got kicked out of school for telling someone we had the internet.
Wow.
The fucking internet. So sorry if I can't say the F word.
You can curse
but...
all you want. Well,
yeah.
So when you're kind of like living in Iran at that time, what did you And because your dad was against the regime and your family's against it, like, what did you think that, like, your life was going to be, especially as a woman? Like, what did you think your future was going to hold?
I mean, I was a Delulu child, so when people would ask me, even starting from like 7 years old, they were like, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I would be like, "Well, first I'm gonna go to America, and then I'll figure it out." Like that was my only plan for some weird reason. I
Yeah.
had no idea what America looked like. We went out of the country. We went to like Dubai and Turkey and Asia, but I didn't know what America really looked like. I didn't even
Hmm.
know what Los Angeles was really till I was 18 and moved here.
Right.
I had no idea where like everything I saw in the movie was filmed here because it just felt so like far.
Foreign. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
What? So, like, yeah. So, I mean, did it come from like watching movies, which is why you kind of wanted to
Yeah, it was actually, it wasn't movies, it was the music.
music?
The music was really the opening. I think it's the movies were too hard to understand, too complicated. Um, I watched Titanic when I was younger and I like really didn't understand it, but definitely had a poster of Leonardo DiCaprio that I bought like in the black market and I would kiss every night. So that was there.
Love. I love that's what you're getting. That's
And
what you're
that's my
getting on the black
type
market.
still. I know, like
But what did you like? So, and kind of like
the
paint the
deeper.
picture, like what it would have been, or what it was like for like your mother, for example, or her, or your aunts, maybe like the conformity that, like, what was the lifestyle for a woman like at that time anyway?
So all of the fun stuff that I'm telling you, that's inside of our home. We
Right.
were allowed to do that just because my family were so open-minded. We got to do that. Outside is a completely different story. From 7 years old, my first day of school, that's when we had to start wearing the hijab.
Right.
And that's literally my first day of school. We had to like say death to America and death to Israel, and they burned American flag, and I was so traumatized. I like went home crying,
Yeah.
thinking they were gonna kill everyone in America, and I was like, we were there. Like I
Right.
have photos in DC, and like and I knew I wasn't even allowed to talk about that at school.
How long were you in DC?
Almost a year, I want to say. I don't know,
Okay.
like
So
yeah.
did you go to school there?
No, I
No,
was
you were
like I was a
younger.
baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I mean, we moved to Tehran at 4, so it was somewhere between 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, and 4. That's where we were
Right.
out of Iran.
So, like, I mean, and like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, women might have like, if you're born female and growing up in Iran, you're kind of like resigned, unless you want to leave, you're kind of resigned to this life that is as a second class citizen, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so let me actually explain to you the class system, which
Yes.
is written. So a man is a Muslim man is a first class citizen. We don't have races. It's based on religion.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause there are different colors, but like you just go by religion.
Yeah.
Like there are different, like the ethnicities are there, but like, yeah, you
Religion is
have
the
to be,
main
the religion is the
differentiator.
main thing. Like you have to be Muslim. Otherwise, like they will kind of force you in a way.
Wow.
So a Muslim woman is a second class. A Christian, Jewish, Baha'i, if they're alive somehow, they would be third class. And then a female of that would be fourth class. And so, for example, if you hit someone with a car, with your car, the amount you have to pay if like something happens to them and stuff, it depends on their gender and their religion.
Wow.
So you could and like gay, they would just probably kill you. Like they wouldn't even give you rights. But if you would have hit a Christian or Jewish woman, it's the fourth of what
It would be if it was a
penalty
Muslim
would be
man.
if it was a Muslim man.
Wow. Yeah. And so, like, so obviously there was an impetus to want to leave again because your parents had always had wanted to leave. So what, talk to me about, because there was a lottery system, right? So talk to me about how you went about kind of leaving.
So I moved here when I was 18, and from a very young age, like we just struggled so much living in Iran, and we wanted to leave. It was so difficult, and I I think since I was like 9 years old, I literally wanted to unalive myself, and I didn't tell anybody, and
Wow.
I just had like a plan of like kind of killing myself. Every night I would hit myself with like this wooden thing that I think I would just die. And nobody really knew. My sister knew. She's 7 years older than me. She knew like I was just very melancholy, very much like not myself. So she put all of our names down in this lottery system, and I was like the last person that were like, oh, you're 18, you get to be in it, like the first time we applied to it. And I remember I just got into my first semester at my university, and it was so far. So like in the morning I had to go. There was all these IRGC people that would like check your nails, check your face and stuff. So I had to like dodge them to not get arrested. And it would take me like 3 hours to school and back. So one day I come home and I'm like so exhausted. I never thought I would win the lottery. We didn't even check our names to see if we won.
The lottery, yeah.
And like months later, there was a letter from US that God knows how it even made its way through and got passed through the system because it was already open. And my mom, she's the only one who doesn't read or speak English. She was like, there's a letter from America and it has your name on it. What is going on? So like, I'm literally sleeping. I'm just like so depressed.
Right.
And I'm like, what? It says I won the lottery. And like, we had no idea what it meant. We had no clue what to do next, what's going on. And it was insane. It was insane. And then it took a couple of months from that point to be able to actually get the green card. I had to go do interviews. I had to do background checks. I had to make sure I'm not a criminal.
Right.
Like, that'd be so cool if I was. But
So you won and no one else in your family did. So knowing like you knew that like, okay, well, I'm going to like leave and all of you guys are going to be here.
I wasn't like Cartman, like, oh, screw you guys, I'm going to, I wasn't like that. It was actually traumatizing because
Of course, you're 18.
Yeah, and my family were like, okay, so you're going to be the one who's going to go, here's all of our money, and you're going to make us proud and bring the rest of us with you. And I'm like,
wow.
It was a lot of pressure. I didn't even know, like, I think because I was so worried I was going to be disappointed or like hate it, I just didn't make any assumptions. Mm-hmm. I try to just pretend like I didn't know. I'm going to just go as whatever it is, right? It's like, I'm just going to go do it. And my mom even packed my bags because I was like, I'm probably going to go back. Like, I'm not going to just make any plans. And of course, she packed like 3 goddamn suitcases, the ghetto as shit. There's a rug in there. There are multiple books about Iran because apparently the second I land in America, I'm going to forget. It's going to be like, boobs out, I'm going to forget. Like, Mom, I still have dignity. Like, what do you think? So, yeah, she just packed a bunch of stuff to just, and like, you know, when you go through TSA, it says like, did you bring seed? And like, I had all of that in my bag. It was like dried fruits, all the tea, like
wine.
No wine because like alcohol is illegal, but like we had all of these things like that my parents wanted me to bring here just so I don't forget
your roots. Yes. So like what? So then you're here, and then you enroll in school right away, or how did you went to Otis?
I went to Otis. Like I think it was when we it was a few years before we met. I'm gonna say like I moved here, so at first I had to take some English courses because I couldn't just transfer all my credits. So
because you didn't know English, did you know English?
I did know English, but
from the Britney Spears videos.
From the Britney Spears taught me how to speak English. Thank you. It was my dad taught me, but it's actually really funny because they teach it, and I went to school for that too. Like we had after school programs. They taught us British English, but with an American accent. It was
funny.
A shit show. And like it was hilarious, and I definitely had an accent. I still do. I work on it, not to sound like very much like a foreigner that's just here from Westwood and wants some kebab.
So you're here and you must have felt this like incredible liberation. I'm assuming like where you didn't, or did you? Like you didn't have to wear a hijab, for example, or what were your thoughts? Like your first thoughts?
I think when you're 18, you're just so naive, right? And I was never away from my family. think my first thought, the second I landed in LAX, so it took a really long time for them to like let me enter. It took like 45 minutes. And I swear I was like sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, they think I'm a terrorist. Like, what is going on? And this guy kept going back and forth. I did like every single finger was like printed and
Right.
stuff. And then this guy comes back to me and he's like, what's your number? And I'm like, I don't have a phone number. I'm just moving here. And he's like, can I take you to dinner? I've never even been asked out. Like, I was totally virgin. I like didn't hold anyone's hands. I was still very much sheltered. I think he gave me his number, but I didn't really like.
That
I
set
was
the tone of your like LA
yeah,
life.
and he was and I was like, oh wait, what? I'm pretty. I had no idea I was pretty. I had no idea about any of this. Like, my sister got arrested for holding her like quote unquote boyfriend, which was illegal for her to have, hands like
Wow.
when she was 16. So like I remember going to jail trying to bring her. Like, I was the
Yeah.
trauma of all of those. It wasn't like, oh, I'm here now, I'm gonna be like free. I was like, I was still very much sheltered,
Got
you
it.
know. And to me, it was interesting. Not wearing hijab was nice, but I was really cold all the time. The first thing I noticed was like my ears never been exposed out for like 18 years, and I was just keep getting sick, and I was like, what is this like air around my ears? Like, it was so weird.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, and then obviously, like, you definitely, because I think what is so cool about you and your story is that you went from this, really controlled life into now being so public and, and an artist and putting all of your work out in the public. So, what, what do you think about that, like, now? Like, can you even, it's like such a 360 or 180 from
From that.
where you started.
It is really hard. I have to say, like, even though I look so big and larger than life on social media, and I think as an Aries, I have that quality of like, sort of like want to be Lady Gaga, but then like I go home and I just like cuddle with my dog. I'm very shy. I'm not one of those people who's like, that's not my real personality. That's my artist performance personality.
Right.
Right. But it is hard, and I get a lot of judgments, I think the first war, when the first war happened between Israel and Iran, I started getting death threats. I started getting I would wake up every day, people calling me slut or whatever, just because I'm not wearing hijab and I'm in a
Wow.
bikini. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
I'm not really doing anything. But then I took all of that, all of their words, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just turn it into something that's more powerful.
Yeah.
Because those girls, those like 50,000 women who got killed for showing their hair, they were also called sluts.
Right.
Like, maybe I look at myself, I'm like, maybe I am a slut for showing cleavage. But no, like, those girls didn't do anything. So I need to take that and take all of that pain and turn it into gold. With art.
100%. Yeah. And it must be like, do you have a complicated, like, it's kind of like, because obviously you're so proud of who you are, right? And especially when you have parents that were so open-minded and everything. So, like, how do you hold those two things? Like, how do you hold kind of like having, being proud of who you are and where you came from and your family, and also being here with all the freedoms that you're afforded, and like looking back on where you came from and not wanting that for yourself either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think I'm a huge believer in journaling, therapy, all of that, because there are a lot of things, like, as you get older, you realize all the lies and all the gaslighting that cultures do to you. All the conditioning that they do to you, and it's such a lie. And I think people should just live as free as possible. So I don't identify as a Muslim. I identify as a Zoroastrian, which is our ancient religion. And we believe in three things: good words, good thoughts, good deeds. That's all the rule you need. Like,
It is.
that's it. It's just like, whatever you're thinking, don't think bad thoughts about anyone. Just
Right.
want good things, good karma, and that's
Right.
it.
What do people like? Well, I guess you kind of like that would be kind of like on the third and fourth class.
Oh, you would get murdered. Like,
You would. So
yeah.
it's been completely like
So when we were
outlawed?
11 years old, when I was 11 years old, like our viral video was this guy. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just probably nervous to laugh. There was this guy that got killed by the regime for, I think he changed his religion to something, but they burned his entire body with cigarettes. And that was like a viral video that was going around. Like, yeah, don't think about it. And
Wow.
they took us. I was in middle school or maybe like first grade in high school. They took us to a former prison to show us how KGB and like Savak, which is the old CIA in Iran, would torture people and basically show you like your nails pulled out, like that. Like
Jeez.
it was awful. Like the conditioning was crazy. I mean, I think the first time an IRGC member came to me and my mom, I was 7, 8. It was after school and I wasn't wearing hijab. So he came and grabbed my mom and was like, your daughter's old enough to wear it. And you also have to like think about this. According to Islam, women can get married at age 9. So at 7, they're not thinking, oh, it's a no-no. They're like,
Wow.
oh, she's in her prime.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, it's awful. They're like, yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your communication like with your family now?
Well, my dad passed.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. My sister and I are very close. My mom, it's complicated. She's very traditional in her own ways. But we try to work on things. You know, it was more difficult a couple of years ago. I think she's definitely came a long way from where things started. It's just she's who she is, and you can't really change that,
Yeah.
right? You just have to be in peace with where people want to be in their own life, and that's it.
know.
That's all you have to do.
And that's also like a very universal parent-child. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so, you're like, how did you raise me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes.
Yeah, I think sometimes like we become a mirror of maybe, or we pick up on one of our parents' dreams and then we become the opposite of what another parent in a
Yeah.
way, right? Because I think sometimes my mom is like, oh my God, the first thing she says that just gets under my nerve. She's like, why don't you get a government job? Because in Iran and like, you know, communist countries and stuff, government jobs are great jobs. I'm like, what, mom? Like, you should go work at DMV. Like, you have no idea what a government job means in
Oh my
America.
God.
She's like, why are you working for yourself and you're an artist? This is so hard. And I'm like, oh God. Like,
That would be a great reality show, is you working at the DMV.
next.
Wow. So now that you have this, like, now that you're here, obviously, and you have, I mean, outwardly, right, it seems like you have this, like, burst of freedom to kind of take all of these, you know, artistic dreams and, like, put them into action. So, you know, like, is this kind of the thing? Are you kind of living the life that you saw or you were inspired by when you were watching those music videos in some way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see, like, there are other things, there are other obstacles in America. I think one of it is money, right? I think the American dream is that you have the opportunity to make whatever you want as long as you go and work hard for it, as long as you campaign and do whatever, right? I think that's what it is. I mean, if I had $1 billion, I would just be doing exactly what I'm doing now, just at that level.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change that at
Right.
all. So,
But that's so amazing because that means you're really living in integrity with yourself.
yeah, I mean, I'm such an overachiever. I have a very hard time celebrating my wins. But I think, yeah,
Why?
I wouldn't change. Oh, because, you know, we make all these goals and we're like, by this age, I need to do this. And
Yeah.
I think for women too, we're like, I need to have a Nobel Peace Prize and like 2 kids and a horse and 3 dogs. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and
Yeah.
5 husbands, apparently.
Right. Yeah, and like, so speaking of that, like, so because you have done a lot, like, what are some of the things that like you've been most proud of that you have done? Let's take the time to.
I don't, I mean, the pageant was really nice. I think that was the very first time I allowed myself to be
Miss Bel Air.
Miss Bel Air, yeah, because I'm short, so I didn't think I would able to like even compete in something like that. And you know, most girls write themselves off just because they're short and they could be born here. And I remember just signing up, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. You know, like you know how people have like to-do lists? I have like fuck it, fuck you lists. Like anything people tell me you can't do, it's going on the list. I'm gonna just try it. Even if I can't do it, I'm gonna do it. Just
Right.
it's fun. It's fun to do it.
And who know, like, yeah, it's fun, and who cares? Who knows what's going to happen? But like,
Yeah.
you're doing it for yourself.
And there's no expectation. I didn't expect I was gonna win, but when I went to start getting ready, learn how to walk, I met this incredible woman, and so you have to create bios for pageants, and you have to tell people who you are. My first bio was like, I like yoga, I like Pilates and matcha, and she was like, is this who you are? She like literally looked at me and she's like, tell me who you are. And I tell her my story and she's like, that's so much more interesting than this basic thing you wrote here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like, did part of you feel like I have this idea of what an American girl is like, and you kind of wanted to
I was embarrassed. I
be
thought I was
that.
going to be made fun of.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, oh no, I don't want to be a foreigner. I don't want to have
Right.
an accent. I want to just blend in. Please don't look
Right.
at me. Don't nobody look at me. It wasn't that I wanted to stand out. Like I didn't want to be, what's his name? Borat. That was like, I
Don't
had
look
so
like
much fear that I would just stand out and be, people will laugh at me and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to stick to matcha and yoga. And I think for us too, even though that's an identity that's made up, is she's a terrorist, or
Right.
you people are responsible for the death of people in 9/11. Like I
Right.
feel all of that, you
Yeah.
know? So I didn't want people to know that. And
Yeah.
now I'm just like, no, I don't care. And the reason I think one thing that shocks people, they're like, well, you're blonde, you look white, whatever. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I learned this part from was Marilyn's Journey and Paris Hilton. Paris is a brunette with brown eyes. She wears contacts and bleaches her hair. But she realized that from Hitchcock, if you want to stand out, blondes just they're the leading ladies. Like it's like pizza and salad. Everybody wants pizza. So step into that.
Be the pizza.
Be the pizza, and then you can say what you want to say.
Yeah.
So it was
It gives you a bigger platform,
bigger
more
platform.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. And it's like, yeah, but I love now, like ever since that pageant, and now, you know, you're owning your story.
Who I am. Yeah, I think she allowed me be who I am. And then from that moment, I just, kind of went with it. And it's been hard. And, there are difficult paths, or I think there are rejections. And one of my favorite thing is rejection therapy. It's like, just like I said, like the fuck you list. Like you try to get as many no's as possible. And then along the way, you get all these yeses. And
Yeah.
I don't think anything I've done has been incredible. It's just, I try to put myself out there and not listen to the no's.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So you've done, I mean, the pageant is amazing. Again, congratulations on that. But you've done a lot of stuff. You've acted.
Yes.
You have 2 songs, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is cool because that really leans into your heritage.
Mm-hmm.
What can you talk about those a little bit? Because I think they're very
yeah.
catchy.
I mean, I wrote an album. I only made 2 songs. I definitely want to sing more and create more along that. I think that was where all the pain, that's where like music really carries all of your soul and emotion. It was so difficult to make it. Like, I think I spent hours, like I would work on it till like midnight and then, or like, no, 3, 4 a.m. and then sleep like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And most of it, I recorded those literally in the closet. I just
Yeah.
knew somebody who was like, set this up, had a blanket over my head until I could handle being under the blanket. I would sing and then just give myself a break and then come out and try to fix it in post. And it was incredible. That was one of the most amazing experiences I've had. I've modeled, I walked runways, I've walked Miami Swim Week, LA Fashion Week. Those were really fun because people always underestimate me because I'm the little one, and then
Yeah.
I walk in and I just
Killing
don't give
it.
a shit. Oh, the one of my favorite one was Miami Swim Week, like the second walk I did. The first walk I was nervous. The second walk, I'm about to walk out, and this girl, like a mean girl, like I've never dealt with mean girls, actually, I would have to say in modeling. Most girls are nice. Most girls are like freaking out themselves. this was the only time I've ever experienced it. And this girl like looks at me and she's like, "You're wearing the tallest heels and you're still the shortest." I am, and like I'm about to go, like, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm about to like burst
so
into
it
tears."
totally, yeah, like threw you off.
It threw me off, and they gave us sunglasses. So I was like, I walked to the bathroom and I was like, I'm gonna just practice what I'm gonna do with the sunglasses. And that's when I walked out, grabbed the sunglasses, threw it at the crowd, and I was like, da da da, twirl, twirl, bitch, 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 cut. And then and everybody started clapping, and then I go back and everyone's like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And I'm like, it's going back to taking the energy
Yes.
of hate and jealousy is so strong. You can just take that and alchemize it and turn it into gold. You don't have to go punch someone or like say anything. You literally can just transmute it.
That is so beautiful. That is like your story. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're
Yeah.
taking all this hate and you're spinning it into gold, and spinning it into something super positive, and along the way, like educating people on, you know, where you're from and that regime and what, you know, and living by those three
Rules, yeah.
rules, you know? So I want to just go back to the music one more time. So, and because they're songs, can you just tell me what they're about? Like,
One is about the ashes of Persepolis. It's about us rising from the ashes of, like, Iranians rising from the ashes of Persepolis and the regime change. The other one is like a fuck you to the Ayatollahs. It's about, you know, the girls who got killed, Mahsa Amini, and women life freedom. This,
sorry to
no.
just say what the Ayatollah is.
Ayatollah Khamenei, the one who they just killed.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Ayatollah is basically the supreme leader,
Okay.
and he's the one who is like the mass freaking murderer. You know,
Right.
they're the guys who are responsible for all of this. And the song starts with me laughing, like, "Hey Ayatollah, you like what you see?"
Oh,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
my vision was like literally taking off my hijab and like being in a bikini, whatever. Like, fuck you to all of your death threats, all of
Yeah.
the stuff that you've been sending my way. And the song is very like fashion forward. It's like
Yeah.
I'm wearing Gucci, whatever, Versace, and da 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 da. And I was like, I'm just gonna own that. Why not? Because I think that's what those girls wanted. That's what those girls went out in the street and wanted to dance and sing, which they're both illegal for women. There is no modeling.
Right.
I never saw a billboard with a woman on it.
Wow.
It was like all of the arts are the men who killed themselves on the way for the regime, or like they blew
Right.
themselves up or went to war. It's bizarre. Like if you come to the country, you're like, what is this? It's so depressing.
Right.
It's a war torn country.
And if we don't talk about this, if you don't do, but like, is it? How are you feeling like now? Like, how's your family doing now with everything?
It's difficult. I think that last year was harder. Last year, I wasn't even sleeping. You know, it was so difficult. We were trying to call them every time, and there was no internet. So like, my sister would try to call my mom and like try to figure it out, and it was so hard. But this time around, I think they're more prepared. The part that's really hard for them is like the amount of poverty and the amount of like there's not much food and things.
Yeah.
Like we're getting worried about that because they've learned to go to shelter. They know that they're going to be safe. They're out of Tehran. They're in the suburbs, so they're not going to get bombed. Like we know that, but still, like it's difficult not to get a text, not to know where they are
No
until
communication. You don't know.
until they get electricity or something. They can call you. I'm like, "Hey, I'm alive," and then
Jeez.
like literally that's what I get on WhatsApp. It's like, "Hey, by the way, we're alive." Like it's terrible, but
Yeah.
all I can do from here is be their voice, and
Right.
you know,
Where's your sister?
she's in Canada.
Oh, okay. So what do you want to do now? Like, continue to do?
Ooh, I have so many things I want to do. I'm working on a TED Talk.
Oh, that'll be good.
Yeah, I think that talk would be great. I would love to like go around and like give talks at colleges, you know, and all of that. Just like maybe it's like the fuck you principle, fuck you Ayatollah principle. I don't know, but no,
yeah.
it's more about like also the lottery. It's about I wrote something is about winning the lottery and the path to freedom, and we don't appreciate the freedom we have in America. You know, there's so much fight between right and left, who's right, who's wrong, but we forget that America is still one of the greatest country in the world. You know, I think bringing people back to that, bringing people back to the core of what this country was built on, with all of the stuff that's happening, like outside of that, it's still, we get to go out there and say, and protest our president,
Right.
and we don't get shot and murdered.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You know, you
Yeah.
get to love whoever you want. You get to have whatever religion you want, and that is incredible. And there are still parts of, like, even Europe can't really do that, you know? Not only Asia. So I think those are things that I want to focus on. I want to produce and write. I want to just keep doing more of this fun stuff and more music.
I know. I want the full album out.
Yes, it would be fun. I have like some that are inspired by Shakira. It's like a mix of like dancing.
Yeah.
And belly
Would you
dancing
say
fun.
that she's like a role? Like, who are your
Oh,
role
totally.
models?
Britney to begin with, and then Shakira, J-Lo. They were like when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And I think those were the it girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as I grow up, it changes a lot. What's her name? Marina Abramovich, the artist. Do you know who she is? She's like a performance artist that she like, she's crazy though. She like went and sat down and like put like a gun and knife and stuff in front of like people, and they were like, you can do whatever. And like towards the end of this exhibition, somebody held a gun to her head, and like she does like, she is an incredible artist. She lives in New York. She does so many of these kind of performance art to show what human are capable. Like starving herself and stuff. Like I feel like those are really fun, but I'm like,
No, it is but you're doing that too, like in your way. Obviously, it's like you're right. You're making like a catchy song about something that has like a deep meaning, or you know, yeah. I know you've said that you wanted to do a book at some point, and
yeah, probably multiple books. I
Great.
think, yeah, I want to do multiple books. I want to do documentaries. Like, I can see myself definitely like producing and having a deal with Netflix or Hulu and just have multiple things. You know, I don't have to overlook all of that, but
yeah,
I want to help bring in the voice of, one of them is women in Iran, and the other one is all these little kids that are getting executed right now. You know, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, that gold medal winner. You know, they didn't do anything. They just went out in the street and wanted people to be more free. You know, they're just protesting and peaceful protesters.
right.
And they're hanging them in the middle of the street. Yeah, it's crazy. But I'd love to tell their stories. So their life, their death isn't meaningless, you know, and hopefully we never have to tell those stories in a couple of years.
Yeah.
There would be a regime change, and
Right. Well, you're doing such amazing work.
thank you.
I'm really,
too.
well, not compared to you, but no, I think it's so, you know, incredible where you've come from and who you are today. Yeah, I mean, I know you're the same girl, but like, you've gone through so much, and it's like very impressive and admirable.
Thank you. I think you have to.
Yeah.
I have to, like, when I am the one who won the green card. Like, I feel responsible. I could have been dead like Mahsa Amini,
Yeah.
but I got the green card. The
Yeah.
universe was like, it's your ticket.
Right. It gives you more, you feel like more of a sense of purpose to like live your life on your own terms because you were given this incredible gift.
Yeah, and feel responsibility for that, you know. And
Yeah.
I just feel like I can't just sit on my ass and do nothing.
Yeah. But you're not, and you're not.
Try not to.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Just follow me and, I don't know, have fun, enjoy your life. I think people should just have more of a, you know, Lady Gaga attitude. Be big. You're never big. You're not taking enough space. Be so freaking big and follow every single dream that you want, and even make it 10 times more. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? We're all gonna die anyway, and no one's gonna remember us. Like, literally, no one's gonna remember us. Just think about, like, the Gen Z or whatever is making fun of us already.
Right.
So
Right.
just do it. Who cares?
Live your life.
Just don't go to jail, you know. Like there's limit to that.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Always. And yeah, you're the best.
Oh my God.